There is something deeply powerful about the moments between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. While the world is asleep, while the noise of life has faded, while distractions have fallen silent, your eyes suddenly open. You look around and wonder, why am I awake at this hour? My dear brothers and sisters, perhaps this is not random. Perhaps this is not just a break in sleep. Perhaps this is a moment of mercy. Sometimes Allah wakes a servant not because the body is rested, but because the soul is thirsty. There are moments when the heart needs something that the world cannot give. Not money, not success, not people, not status. It needs peace. It needs guidance. It needs closeness to its Creator. And so in His infinite mercy, Allah allows you to wake up in the most blessed hours of the night. There is something profoundly moving about the hours before dawn, especially the time between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., when the world falls into a silence that is almost sacred. In these moments, the noise of life fades away. The sounds of traffic disappear, conversations cease, phones stop ringing, and the endless demands of the day are temporarily suspended. It is in this stillness that many people suddenly find themselves awake, often without understanding why. They open their eyes in the darkness, glance at the clock, and wonder what caused this interruption in sleep. Yet for a believing heart, this moment can be seen as far more than a coincidence. It can be understood as a divine call, a gentle invitation from Allah, a mercy that reaches the soul when everything else is quiet enough for it to be heard. Sometimes during the busyness of the day, the heart becomes overwhelmed. We move from one responsibility to another, constantly occupied with work, family, studies, worries, and endless thoughts. In the middle of such a fast-paced life, it becomes difficult to pause and truly listen to what the soul needs. But in the deep hours of the night, when all distractions have been removed, there is a different kind of awareness. The heart becomes more sensitive, the mind more reflective, and the soul more open to guidance. It is as though Allah creates a special atmosphere in these hours, one in which His servant can return to Him with sincerity and focus. When Allah wakes someone up at this hour, it may be a sign that He wants goodness for that person. Perhaps He is calling them toward prayer. Perhaps He is opening the door for dua. Perhaps He is giving them an opportunity to seek forgiveness before the arrival of Fajr. There is something deeply personal about being awake while others sleep. It feels like a private meeting between the servant and the Creator. No audience, no distractions, no need to impress anyone, just a sincere heart standing before Allah in complete honesty. These early hours are known to be among the most blessed times for worship. The night prayer, Tahajjud, carries immense spiritual weight because it requires sacrifice and sincerity. Anyone can pray when it is easy and convenient, but waking up in the darkness, leaving the comfort of the bed and turning toward Allah is an act that reflects genuine love and devotion. It shows that the heart recognizes something greater than sleep, something more valuable than comfort. It is as if Allah is saying to His servant, I have given you a moment that many people sleep through. Use it to come closer to me. There are times when a person feels lost, burdened, or emotionally exhausted. They may not even have the words to explain what they are going through. Yet they wake up in these hours with thoughts racing through their mind, emotions stirring in their chest, and a heaviness in the heart. This may be the very reason Allah has awakened them, to bring them back to the source of peace. Because true peace does not come from the world. It comes from remembering Allah. In the silence of the night, when the world offers no answers, the heart often turns naturally toward its Lord. The beauty of this divine call lies in its gentleness. Allah does not force His servants. Instead, He opens doors, creates opportunities, and sends subtle reminders. Waking up before dawn can be one of those reminders. It may be a chance to make dua for something you have been longing for. It may be an opportunity to ask for forgiveness for mistakes that have been weighing on your conscience. It may be the moment when your tears fall in sincerity and those tears become the reason for a change in your life. Many people look back on their spiritual journey and realize that their transformation began in moments like these. Not in public, not in front of others, but alone in the darkness when they raised their hands and spoke to Allah from the depths of their hearts. The divine call in the quiet hours is often the beginning of healing. It is where broken hearts find comfort, where confused minds find clarity, and where hopeless souls rediscover faith. There is wisdom in why this call comes at such a time. During the day, the heart is surrounded by noise. But at night, it can hear what it has been ignoring. The silence itself becomes a message. It reminds us that despite all the chaos in life, Allah is near. He sees what no one else sees. He knows what no one else knows. He understands the pain you have hidden, the fear you have carried, and the prayers you have not yet spoken aloud. So when your eyes open between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., do not rush to dismiss it as meaningless. Sit with that moment. Feel the stillness. Recognize the mercy within it. Perhaps Allah has chosen that exact hour because He knows your heart is most ready to listen, most ready to soften, most ready to return. And in that silence, as the darkness slowly gives way to the first light of dawn, the soul begins to hear the call it was always meant to answer. There are moments in life that seem small on the surface, yet carry meanings far deeper than we first realize. Waking up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. can be one of those moments. Many people experience it and immediately think it is simply because of stress, habit, or a disturbance in sleep. While there can certainly be physical reasons for a believer, there is also a spiritual lens through which this moment can be understood. Sometimes it is a sign of mercy and attention from Allah, a gentle reminder that you are not forgotten, not abandoned, and never beyond His care. Think about the beauty of this idea for a moment. Out of billions of people across the world, while most remain asleep in the comfort of their beds, your eyes open in the stillness of the night. The room is silent, the world around you is calm, and there is a strange awareness in your heart. It is as though Allah has allowed you to step out of the rush of life for a few precious moments. This itself can be seen as mercy. Allah, in His wisdom, gives His servants opportunities to return to Him, and sometimes those opportunities arrive in the most unexpected ways. Mercy from Allah is not always loud. It does not always come in the form of visible blessings, wealth, or worldly success. Sometimes His mercy comes in the form of a moment, a pause in life that invites you to reflect. Waking up at this hour may be Allah's way of drawing your attention towards something your heart has been neglecting. Perhaps you have been distant from prayer. Perhaps your heart has been heavy with sins, worries, or regrets. Perhaps you have been searching for peace in places where it can never truly be found. In His mercy, Allah wakes you so that you may remember Him. There is something incredibly comforting in knowing that Allah pays attention to His servants. He knows the tears that no one has seen. He knows the fears that you never spoke about. He knows the silent battles that rage within your chest. When no one else understands your pain, Allah does. When no one notices your struggle, Allah notices. And sometimes waking you in these quiet hours is a sign that He is giving you His attention in a way that is deeply personal and profoundly compassionate. Maybe you have been making dua for something for a long time. Maybe you have been waiting for relief, for healing, for an answer, for a way out of a difficult situation. Then one night you wake up before dawn with that burden still resting on your heart. This may not be random. It may be Allah giving you a sacred opportunity to speak to Him at one of the most blessed times of the night. It is as if He is saying, "Come, ask me again. Pour your heart out to me. I am listening." This is the beauty of divine attention. Allah does not ignore the servant who turns to Him, even if that servant has made mistakes, even if they have been distant, even if they feel unworthy. His mercy is greater than our sins, greater than our weakness, and greater than our moments of forgetfulness. Waking up at this hour can be a reminder that the door to Allah is still open. No matter how far you feel, the path back to Him is always available. Sometimes people think that Allah only gives attention to the most righteous, the most pious, or the most consistent in worship. But the truth is that His mercy reaches everyone. The one who is struggling, the one who is broken, the one who feels lost, all of them are still within His care. In fact, sometimes the very reason you are being awakened is because Allah wants to pull you back before you drift even further away. What greater mercy could there be than being reminded of your Lord before it is too late? There is also a sense of honor in this moment. To be awake while others sleep can feel like being singled out for a special opportunity. It is not about superiority over others, but about a unique moment of connection. The heart often feels softer in these hours. The ego is quieter. The distractions are fewer. It becomes easier to speak sincerely, to repent honestly, and to ask with humility. This itself is a sign that Allah is paying attention to what your soul needs. Many times the heart becomes numb during the day because of constant busyness. We push through routines without truly reflecting on where we stand spiritually. But at night, when everything is still, reality becomes clearer. You begin to think about your life, your choices, your relationship with Allah, and the direction in which you are heading. This awakening can be mercy because it shakes you out of heedlessness. It reminds you that life is short, that every day is a chance to return, and that Allah's door remains open for those who seek Him. Perhaps the greatest comfort in all of this is knowing that Allah's attention is never absent. Even when you feel alone, He is near. Even when you think no one cares, He cares. Even when you believe your voice is too small to be heard, He hears every whisper of your heart. So when you wake up in those quiet hours, do not see it merely as interrupted sleep. See it as a possibility, a mercy, a sign that your Lord is giving you another chance to remember Him, to seek Him, and to feel the warmth of His attention settling gently upon your soul in the silence before dawn. There are moments in life when everything appears fine on the outside, yet deep within, the heart feels unsettled. A person may smile during the day, fulfill responsibilities, speak with others, and continue with the routine of life, but inside there is a quiet emptiness that no one sees. This is the reality of the soul's need for connection. The human heart was not created to live only on worldly success, possessions, or the approval of people. It was created with a deeper need, a longing that can only be fulfilled through closeness to Allah. Sometimes waking up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. is a sign that the soul is yearning for that connection. The soul has needs just as the body has needs. When the body is hungry, it asks for food. When it is tired, it seeks rest. In the same way, when the soul is distant from its Creator, it begins to feel a hunger that cannot be satisfied by anything in this world. People often try to fill that emptiness with distractions, more work, more entertainment, more conversations, more scrolling through their phones, more chasing after temporary pleasures, yet the heart remains restless. Why? Because the soul is asking for something greater. It is asking for remembrance, for prayer, for peace that only comes from Allah. These quiet hours before dawn are often when the soul's voice becomes the clearest. During the day, the mind is filled with noise. Responsibilities pile up, conversations continue, and life moves quickly. There's hardly time to sit with your thoughts, let alone listen to what your heart is truly feeling. But in the stillness of the night, everything changes. The silence creates space for reflection. Suddenly, thoughts you have been avoiding begin to surface. Feelings you have buried begin to rise. Questions about your life, your purpose, and your relationship with Allah become impossible to ignore. This is why these moments can feel so powerful. They are often not just about waking up physically, but about awakening spiritually. The soul may be gently calling you toward what it has been missing. It may be longing for the peace that comes from making dua with sincerity. It may be craving the comfort of standing in prayer when no one else is watching. It may be seeking the calm that comes from speaking to Allah about the worries no one else understands. There is something deeply healing about turning to Allah in these moments. The world often teaches us to carry our burdens silently, to appear strong, and to keep moving no matter how heavy life feels. But the soul cannot carry endless weight without relief. It needs a place to rest. It needs a source of comfort. That source is Allah. When you wake up in the early hours of the morning and sit in the darkness with your thoughts, it may be your soul guiding you back to the one who can truly soothe it. Sometimes people do not even realize how disconnected they have become until moments like these. They may have been praying less, remembering Allah less, and allowing worldly concerns to take over their inner life. Then suddenly, they wake up in the quiet of the night with an unexplained urge to think, to reflect, or even to cry. This can be the soul's way of expressing its need. It is not weakness. It is a sign that the heart still longs for its Creator. The beauty of the soul's connection with Allah is that it does not require perfect words. You do not need eloquent speech. You do not need a prepared dua. Sometimes all it takes is a sincere whisper, a tear, or even silent thoughts directed toward Him. Allah knows what is in your heart before you even say it. He understands the confusion, the pain, the longing, and the hopes that remain unspoken. This awareness itself brings comfort. To know that the one who created your soul also understands its every need is a mercy beyond measure. In these hours, the soul often becomes more honest. During the day, pride, distractions, and social expectations can cloud the heart. But at night, when you are alone, there is no need for appearances. It is just you and Allah. In that private moment, the soul finds the space to be vulnerable. It can admit its fears, confess its mistakes, and express its hopes without hesitation. This honesty is often where healing begins. Many spiritual transformations start in moments of quiet connection like this. A person may not change overnight, but the process often begins when the soul is finally heard. One sincere prayer in the darkness can soften a hardened heart. One moment of reflection can lead to repentance. One tear shed in sincerity can become the beginning of a renewed relationship with Allah. The soul was never meant to thrive in distance from its Lord. Just as a plant withers without water, the heart weakens without remembrance. Waking up in these hours may be a reminder that your soul is calling for nourishment. It needs Quran, dua, prayer, and moments of stillness with Allah. It needs to be reminded that its true home is not in worldly attachments, but in closeness to the one who created it. So when you find yourself awake in the silence before dawn, do not ignore what your heart is trying to tell you. Listen carefully. Beneath the thoughts, beneath the emotions, beneath the stillness itself, your soul may be gently whispering its deepest need, the need to reconnect, to find peace, and to return to the one in whose remembrance hearts truly find rest. There is a hidden beauty in the hours before Fajr that many people overlook. While the world remains asleep and silence covers everything, these moments carry blessings that are unlike any other time of the day. The time before dawn is not just another part of the night. It is one of the most spiritually precious windows that Allah grants to His servants. If you find yourself awake between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., it may be that Allah is opening for you a door toward blessings that remain hidden from those who sleep through it. These are the hidden blessings in Tahajjud time, moments where prayers rise with sincerity and hearts come closest to their Lord. The first hidden blessing of this time is the purity of intention. During the day, acts of worship can sometimes be seen by others. People may notice your prayer, hear your words, or observe your outward devotion. But in the darkness of the night, when everyone around you is asleep, your worship becomes something deeply personal. No one sees you except Allah. This removes every possibility of showing off and leaves behind only sincerity. When a person rises from their bed solely to stand before Allah, it is one of the clearest signs of a heart that truly seeks Him. There's also a blessing in the sacrifice itself. Sleep is one of the greatest comforts given to human beings. To leave the warmth of the bed, the softness of rest, and the ease of sleep in order to pray is not something the heart does casually. It reflects love, discipline, and a deep recognition that what awaits with Allah is far greater than temporary comfort. Every step toward prayer in these hours carries meaning because it is chosen over ease. That choice itself is a blessing as it strengthens faith and reminds the soul of what truly matters. Another hidden blessing of Tahajjud time is the unmatched closeness one feels with Allah. In these quiet moments, the world seems to disappear. There are no distractions, no notifications, no conversations, no pressure from the outside world. It is just the servant and the Creator. This closeness allows for a kind of dua that is difficult to achieve during the rush of the day. The heart opens more freely. Tears come more naturally. Words become more sincere. Even silence becomes meaningful because Allah knows what rests within the heart. Many people discover that the deepest duas of their lives are made in these hours. It is often at this time that a person speaks to Allah with total honesty. They speak about their pain, their fears, their regrets, and their hopes. They ask for things they cannot say to anyone else. They cry over burdens they have carried in silence. And it is in these hidden moments that hearts often experience a peace that no worldly solution can provide. There's also the blessing of acceptance. The time of Tahajjud is known as a blessed time for dua. It is a moment when the believer turns to Allah with humility and hope. Sometimes the answer to a long-awaited prayer begins here. Sometimes the relief from hardship starts in these quiet hours. A person may not see the result immediately, but what is asked in sincerity before Fajr often plants the seed for change, healing, and guidance in ways they may only understand later. The hidden blessings are not always material. Sometimes the greatest blessing is the transformation that happens within the heart. A person who consistently wakes in this time begins to notice a change. Their heart softens. Their mind becomes clearer. Their connection with Allah deepens. They begin to carry more patience in hardship and more gratitude in ease. Tahajjud time reshapes the soul from the inside, often in ways that words cannot fully describe. Another beautiful blessing is that this time often becomes a refuge. Life can be overwhelming. There are days when the pressure feels too heavy, when the mind is crowded with worry, and when the heart feels exhausted. The pre-dawn hours become a safe place where the soul can breathe again. It becomes a private sanctuary where the believer lays down every burden before Allah. What makes this blessing so special is that no matter how difficult life becomes, this door remains open every single night. Sometimes the hidden blessing lies in the guidance that comes during these moments. A person may go to sleep confused about a decision, troubled by uncertainty, or weighed down by emotional pain. Then they wake up before Fajr, make dua, reflect and pray. Through that connection, clarity begins to emerge. It may not come as an instant answer, but the heart often finds direction and calm that was missing before. There is also a blessing in being chosen for this moment. Not everyone wakes up at this time. When your eyes open in these sacred hours, it may be a sign that Allah is inviting you toward something better. Perhaps He wants to hear your voice. Perhaps He wants to give you an opportunity to seek forgiveness. Perhaps He wants to bless you with a closeness that transforms your life. The beauty of these blessings is that they often remain hidden from the eyes but deeply visible to the heart. The world may not notice any outward difference, yet inside something begins to change. The soul feels lighter, faith feels stronger, hope begins to return. A person who once felt distant may suddenly feel near to Allah again. So when you wake between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., do not treat it as an inconvenience. Recognize that these may be among the most blessed moments you are given. They carry hidden gifts, peace, sincerity, guidance, mercy, and the possibility of a life-changing dua. And in the stillness before Fajr, the believer often discovers that the blessings Allah hides in the darkness of the night shine brighter than anything the world can offer.